it's so interesting how this town works. I think people don't realize when they move to Nashville that that's kind of how these things go down. It's not just like, you know, someone thinks of you and calls you and you get an opportunity. It's more like networking and keeping in touch and just having regular meetings to discuss work and opportunities and what everybody's been up to. It is Tuesday morning, and I realized that when I vlog from my car is on, no audio records. So, oh my God, my allergies have been so bad. I've been taking Zyrtec every day. Springtime in Tennessee, man. It's like dark and difficult times. Anyway, I realized that when I vlog from my phone in my car and my car is on, the audio doesn't record. I'm sure this has something to do with like my Bluetooth and the audio in the car, but like my technological brain is not smart enough to figure that out. So I was so mad because when I interviewed Ringo Starr a couple of weeks ago, I was vlogging from the car talking to you guys about the experience, and literally none of it recorded, or it recorded but with no audio. So today I figured I would turn off my car and turn the camera on. I've been trying so hard to vlog more. I feel like my YouTube account has grown a lot in the last year because of the podcast. And so I figured this is just another like level to what I do that I could share. So on today's docket, it is a busy week for us. I am sitting in the parking lot of Staples because I have to run in and print off interview notes for my interview today. I am interviewing a man named Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster on the television series The Munsters. Now, full disclosure, I am like the biggest Munsters fan. It's the weirdest thing I know. My dad and I used to watch it together all the time when I was growing up. Absolutely love Yvonne DiCarlo, who plays Lily Munster. I read her autobiography when I was growing up and just loved them so much. Love that show. It's one of those shows that like I turn on and 100% of the time it makes me laugh. So kind of a cool story. Last year I went to the Grand Ole Opry for Ricky Skaggs' birthday party, and we were backstage in the green room getting ready for him to cut his cake. And he was like, I want to bring out a fun guest that's here tonight. And this man walks out from behind the table, and it was Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster. So that's how I initially got to meet Butch. And we took a picture together, and I was like, I'm a super fan. And so I reached out about the podcast, and he was gracious enough to say yes. So got that interview today, and I have to run into Staples to print off my interview notes. Usually I don't use notes in interviews, but there are some really cool things that he's done in his career, some cool people he's worked with, and I just wanted to have a couple little scribbles at the ready for that. Last week I was in Toronto. I've only been home for a few days, and we are getting ready to actually leave town again. We're going to Florida on Friday. Me and my husband, we are driving. We are taking a mini vacation to go visit my in-laws. We're going to be down in Clearwater for about a week. But back to today. I grabbed a coffee because I'm so tired. Last night Mike's students had their student recital, his jazz ensemble, so I went down to Nashville for that, but we got in super late because we went to dinner after, and then running into Staples now to go print my notes. Had to get a coffee because I'm super tired. I have to run to Target to pick up some things, have to run to the grocery store, may run into Ross really quick because I'm low on summer clothes and I'm heading to Florida. So just, you know, in case anything strikes my fancy. Also, I have to get my nails done. This nail chipped on my luggage coming home from Toronto last week. Anyway, yeah, it's a week full of lots of things. So I'm gonna bring you along. Still not totally ready for my interview today. I just straightened my hair and I need to throw some more makeup on. But getting there, I'm going over my notes for the interview with Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster on The Munsters today. don't mind the moving boxes and all the things going on over here. My house is in disarray, so I've set up a little corner in my living room where I can continue to do my interviews from. It still looks like all put together, even though the rest of the house is not. Priorities, right? But yeah, I'm in my Desi Lou sweatshirt today. I figured old Hollywood vibes, so I would manifest the old Hollywood stuff. But anyway, getting ready to put some makeup on and do that interview. So got all my errands run, went to Target, went to Staples and got my things printed. Now I just have to get ready for this interview. Hi guys, I am about 20 minutes out from my interview with Butch Eddie Munster. I have my microphone. I will turn this so that you guys can kind of see my little setup here. This is like what he'll see when he tunes in to our Zoom. I will give you a little look at what I see from my perspective, which is like my umbrella light, my computer, my laptop camera, my microphone, all of my notes spread all over in front of me. They look like this. So this is my my makeshift setup in my home that I am getting ready to move out of, but I've got my camera up there, I've got my mic here, I've got the game we're gonna play here, my notes here, my little light here, and a pen just in case. So yeah, this is this is the setup. Very high tech over here. You know, I used to be a slave to my notes for interviews like this because I just didn't want to mess something up and I didn't want to miss asking an important question or something. But the more that I do this, I've done hundreds and hundreds of interviews at this point, I tend to not even look at my notes. Like there are interviews that I've done where I watch the footage back and I literally have my notes like under my thigh, like on my stool or something like that, or like behind me next to a pillow, and I never even reference them. The only time I will reference them is if I can't get like the name of an album right, or if I like need to ask a very specific question, or sometimes if I'm playing a game, I will pull out like a sheet for the questions that I've come up with for a game or something. But I feel like the conversation just tends to run like so much more. Sorry, I'm like fixing my hair while I do this because it looks a little flat. The conversation tends to run like so much more smoothly. So I don't really use my notes, but I've got them in front of me just in case. Chances are I probably won't even look down at them. If I do, it'll be like briefly. But yeah, that is my setup, and I've got about 13 or 14 minutes before my Zoom starts. So I will let you know how it goes after the interview. I also wanted to mention that one of the things that I do right before I'm getting ready for an interview is I read over my notes and I try to memorize my first couple of questions, because at the start of the interview, I'm always a little bit nervous. I'm always trying to feel out the person that I'm interviewing and kind of get like a vibe for whether they are the kind of person who's going to do long answers, short answers. Are they super friendly? Are they just doing the interview to do the interview? So my first, like, I would say 4 questions are the ones that I am like kind of nervous to ask, need to have them memorized in my brain, because sometimes when I get nervous, I will flub my lines or have like a little brain fog and forget what I'm supposed to say. So in like the 10 minutes before I do an interview, I am always looking over my notes and memorizing the first few questions. So with Butch, I'm going to ask him, I'm going to introduce him, and then I'm going to mention the fact that he is an actor, writer, and musician. I'm going to mention the fact that we met backstage at the Grand Ole Opry, celebrating Ricky Skaggs and his birthday. I'm going to ask him about his stage name versus his real name, and about how his sister got him into acting and got his foot in the door. So those are the questions that I just know. They're in my head, they're in my heart. I can just ask them. And then while he is answering those, I can kind of like gauge what his vibe is and kind of proceed from there, because I have a couple different directions in which the interview could go, which if you are getting into doing interviews, I highly suggest that. One of the things I always do is I plan for, okay, if they are super chatty, the interview is going to go here. If they are short answer kind of people, the interview is going to go here, and I have more questions prepared. So I always have a backup plan depending on what their answering technique is and how friendly and warm they are. Mostly everybody is, but I always have a backup plan. So anyway, I just thought that might be interesting to some of you who either are interested in how I prep for these interviews or are interested in doing interviews yourself. So that's what I'm doing for the next 10 minutes. I will be here memorizing the first few questions and remembering which direction to go in depending on what his answers are. Just finished my interview with Butch Patrick. It was so good. I honestly barely even had to ask him any of the questions I had written down because he was such a pro. He knew how to tell his story. And as an interviewer, that is something I just appreciate so much. Right now, I am converting my Zoom, and I don't know if you guys have ever had to do this, but I have a mini heart attack every time I'm watching this happen. I'll show you. I don't know if you can actually see it, but I have the thing converting, and it's converting meeting recording, and it's at 54% right now. And I just have a little mini heart attack every time I'm waiting for it to finish up because, God forbid, it glitches and I lose my interview, knock on wood. I hope that doesn't happen. But I always just feel like I can't take a breath until it's done. So 75%, we're getting there. But yeah, Butch, amazing. Told me some great little stories about working with Yvonne DiCarlo, talked about working with Burt Lancaster and Clint Eastwood. Oh my God, what a career he's had. So I will keep you posted on when that is going to air. So I am back out running some errands. I ran to get a smoothie that I just finished because I didn't have time to actually have a proper lunch today with the interview and everything else going on. So ran out to grab a smoothie and decided to run to the grocery store because we have some bad weather coming in tonight. It is so windy, it is whipping through the freaking streets. I can't even explain to you how windy it is. We have a bunch of rain coming in tonight, so I figured we would just stay in, make a nice dinner. So I'm gonna go in and pick up some chicken and maybe some rice and some other little things to make a nice dinner at home with my husband when he gets out of work tonight. So gonna run in and do that. A couple little essentials, not too much because we are heading to Florida in 2 days. So that's the exciting afternoon. I go from interviewing a Hollywood icon to the Kroger, the glamorous life. Hi friends, me with the no makeup. I hate picking up my vlogging camera when I feel like I just look tired, and that's how I feel today. Today has been a day of me sitting at my computer working. I had to publish a podcast, edit a podcast, get a video edited for a client. It has just been an editing day. Tomorrow I have a super busy day though, so I figured I would bring you along with me. I have a meeting with the Academy of Country Music in the morning. I have an interview in the afternoon and then an influencer dinner thing at night. So it's going to be a busy day. I will, I'll bring you along for any part of it that I can. Good morning. I'm coming to you from a parking garage that is actually super noisy. I don't know what's going on. I have such a busy day today, and so I figured I would take you along with me. I am currently sitting in a parking garage because one of my biggest pet peeves in the world, fun fact about me, is being late. I get so stressed out if I am even 1 minute late to a meeting. I have to walk in at the exact time. It's just something that everyone who knows me knows about. My sister and my husband joke about it all the time. It's every man for themselves. When I am out the door, I'm out the door, and you are following me or you are left behind. So I'm sitting here. I have a meeting with the Academy of Country Music here in Nashville. They do the ACM awards and the ACM honors and things like that. So I have a meeting with them this morning, and I am considerably early. My meeting is in 20 minutes and I've been sitting in the parking garage for 5. So in my defense, Nashville traffic can be incredibly difficult at this time of day. So I wanted to give myself plenty of time. Okay, now that rambling is over, I have, like I said, such a busy day today, so I figured I would just kind of like vlog my whole day. So I've got this meeting with the ACMs, then I have an interview with Maurice Benard, who plays Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital. Literally so excited about this interview. I have loved him since I was in middle school. I watched General Hospital growing up. I actually, fun fact, I did an art project when I was in high school, and I drew the cover of a soap opera digest, and Maurice was in the cover. So was Nancy Lee Grahn, who I actually have already interviewed. So I think I was like manifesting meeting them someday when I did that project. Probably not going to tell him that because that would be like super creepy. Anyway, I have that interview this afternoon, and then this evening I have like a little influencer dinner thing. This company that I work with for some like influencer marketing stuff on social media partnered me with a restaurant here in Nashville called Present Tense. They're a Japanese restaurant, and they invited me and my husband to come down to treat us to a lovely dinner. So I am really excited to go get to try some new things. I am a very picky eater, so we will see what happens there, but I'm excited to try some new dishes, and I think it's so nice of them to invite us. So that's my day, and then tomorrow we leave for Florida. So it is like busiest day ever from morning till night. It's morning right now. It's about 9:35. And yeah, I still have to pack for Florida. I haven't even done that. I ordered some things from Amazon that are sitting on my front porch right now. So I need to open that up and see if there's anything good for me to pack and take with me. Otherwise, there'll be some returns upon my return. Just doing some final touches on my makeup. Some lip gloss before I go into the ACMs. You know, meetings like this, I feel like I have worked for so long in this town, and like young Jacy, knowing she was going to be going into a meeting with the ACMs, would have been totally freaking out. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm always so grateful for opportunities like this, but you know, like the way that you build relationships and the way that these things actually happen aren't really like what you think they would be when you are young and growing up. You think like you're going to get a call to come and be a part of a meeting like this, and it's just going to be like this amazing moment. And it is, but it's also, you know, like I've known the head of publicity for the ACMs for a few years now. We've always kept in touch. I did the ACM red carpet a couple years ago, and some other stuff there. I interviewed Lainey Wilson at their offices and Parker McCollum at their offices. So I've had a relationship with the ACMs for a while. And so, you know, when you do get the opportunity to go in and talk about, you know, some work-related things, it's like a natural progression. And I love that because it also takes the pressure off. It's not like this big one-off moment that you have. It's just like a natural, okay, so now we're going to reconnect to keep in touch. And it's so interesting how this town works. I think people don't realize when they move to Nashville that that's kind of how these things go down. It's not just like, you know, someone thinks of you and calls you and you get an opportunity. It's more like networking and keeping in touch and just having regular meetings to discuss work and opportunities and what everybody's been up to, just like any other field. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. We'll see how it goes. Just finished my meeting with ACMs. Super good. They are so lovely. Absolutely love them. Lots of exciting things in the works. So cheers. What a long day this has been already, and it's only 12 p.m. So did my meeting with the ACMs. That was fantastic. Had a wonderful coffee with their publicity team. And now I am home. I had to do a couple little things for some clients. Ricky Skaggs had a little announcement today, so we had to do that. And then I am now getting ready for my interview with Maurice Benard, who plays Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital. I keep saying it that way because I'm mind blown that I get to do this. Anyway, going over some notes for my interview with him. I have a feeling he's going to be chatty because he has a podcast himself, so he knows like how that goes. And I'm assuming that my questions are going to set him up for some good, long, lengthy answers. So getting that done. I've got about an hour and a half before I have to log on for his interview. So I'm just going to kind of study these facts and things a little bit more and make sure I've got my notes all saved up in my head. Yeah, it's been a good day so far, and I'm excited about this interview. Getting ready to do my interview with Maurice. I was just thinking about the fact that we're both podcasters, so hopefully he will have a little insight for me on that. Would love to ask for his advice on creating a successful podcast, because he sure has, and this one's well on its way. So anyway, gotta touch up my makeup a little bit, and I've got my little setup going here. I'll show you. Got my fancy umbrella light, my laptop with my camera, my microphone, the little box that I've been using for so long. Like, the tape is falling apart, but it's like the perfect height for me to put my camera and my laptop on. So I just keep it. You guys, Maurice has entered the waiting room. I'm about to let him in. So excited to do this interview. I'll keep you posted. Okay. I just like need a minute. That was probably my favorite interview that I've ever done. It was like ready to cry or something. This is like wild. He opened the interview talking about his battle with mental health, battle with depression, his bipolar diagnosis. We talked all about how that's affected his acting, how it has inspired his podcast. It was so deep and so personal on a level that I don't know that I've ever actually connected with an interviewee, like a guest that I've had on a show. I don't think I've ever connected in such a deep way with somebody personally, like where they're willing to share such personal information about their life with me. But I could tell right off the bat, he just had that calm, centered demeanor, and I instantly grabbed onto that energy. That's something that I always try to do, is grab onto the energy that I feel the guest has, whether they're excited or shy or whatever. I try to match their energy a little bit and try to play off that so that they feel comfortable. And his energy was just like Zen vibes, like super calm, super focused, easygoing, cool, like just like Sunny on General Hospital. Honestly, like they're so much alike. It was inspiring, beyond inspiring. And then at the end of the interview, he asked me if I care what other people think. And he told me that that's something he asks a lot of his podcast guests. And the ones who say they do have some form of mental illness. And I thought about it for a second, and then I thought, no, I don't actually care what other people think. I've always been so focused on my career and driven and goal-oriented, wanting to achieve certain things, that all of the rest was just kind of noise. And if I had cared what other people thought, I probably wouldn't have ended up doing what I do, because it's a field where I get a lot of criticism and negative feedback sometimes. So I also told him that early on in my career, someone gave me the advice not to listen to other people except for my personal board of directors. And my personal board of directors would be people that hold on, I'm gonna move the camera because it's hurting my arm. My personal board of directors would be people that I truly am interested in their opinions and thoughts on what I'm doing. So for me, that's people like my husband, my mother, my sister, my closest friends, Kelly, Chris, people that I talk to every day that know me truly and know me so far outside what I do in my business that they can have an opinion that I actually really take to heart. So I thought it was such an interesting question that I've actually never been asked before. And he asked me that. And I found that really interesting. And then he and I went back and forth about that for a little bit. And he was just lovely in every way. And I'm so grateful and honored that I get to do this and that I get to talk to people like him who are making a difference in the lives of so many people just by being honest and open about their own experiences. So, gosh, Maurice, listen to his podcast, State of Mind. It's fantastic. He has a great line of merch to go along with that. He has a book out that is a New York Times best-selling book. And he's on General Hospital every day. So definitely check him out. And yeah, I can't wait for this episode to come out. Publishing my podcast today. So I am bouncing Elaine Overholt's vocal. She sent me an intro to the show, so I had to drop that in and just bounce it. So it is getting ready to be published. There we go. Just got home, about to take my makeup off, got in my pajamas. It's been such a long day. I'm so exhausted, but it's been such a great day. Had a fantastic dinner at Present Tense. Thank you so much to all of them for treating us to the most amazing dining experience I've had, like, ever. The food is fantastic. You definitely have to check it out if you're in Nashville. I'm so tired. It has been such a long day, but I'm gonna wash my face, take my makeup off, and pack a little bit because I'm heading to Florida in the morning. I am here in Florida this week, and I had a day of work even though I'm in Florida. And part of my work day was editing the vlog that I recently did, and I realized I never closed it out. I'm gonna close this vlog out from here. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, because that is the best way to support me and what I do. So until the next one, cheers.